Why we celebrate Passover? What is somebody tell me? There's a reason.
There's a reason.
Exodus chapter 12, verses 1 and 2. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first of the year to you. Luke chapter 22 and verse 15. And he said unto them, with desire, I have desired to eat this Passover with you before I suffer. I say unto you, I will not any more eat thereof until it be fulfilled in the kingdom of God. Father, I thank you for your word. I pray that you would allow the word of God to speak to us, our hearts and minds to be touched. Give us ears to hear, a heart to receive, and a mind to react. In Jesus' name. Amen. God bless you. Thank you for honoring the word of God. Highest authority in the earth. You may be seen. It is the word of God that passionately ministers to the hearts of those who love God. To better understand Christ, we have to look at this amazing episode in the life of the children of Israel and their transition. Say transition into something new. Look at the language. The Lord is speaking to Moses again and saying, this is going to be the beginning of months. It's going to be the first month of the year. To everybody else, the calendar is rolling, but this is the start of a new chapter in their life. I'm so thankful for closing the chapter in the opening of the reading. God is a God of progression who will close the book on the old year to open up a whole new year.
Amen.
And if any man be in Christ, he's a new creature.
Yeah.
That's why that word in creation.
Yes.
To better understand Christ and look at this, we're looking at this transition as they were not being delivered just from bad people. They were sinners too. They needed to be delivered from the wrath of God. We will soon find that the same blood that they would put over that doorpost is going to cover them. 400 years of slavery. 400 years. That's not yesterday. It's a long time. They were programmed as a slave. The mentality was etched in their mind. The thought of being free so far from them that it was only in their imagination. A lamb is going to be slain. No one that is not covered is going to be able to escape. It's a transition that's going to take place all in one night. The thought of a prisoner who is about to be free, and I'm told from people who've been incarcerated, that's one thing they do not talk about. They let no one know when they're about to be free. Because misery loves company. Some of them actually provoke the kind of violence or whatever activity they can to extend people's time because they just can't stand the fact that someone is about to be free. I'm told that people that have life in prison who have nothing to lose will kill you quick. You think nothing of it? But the idea of a prisoner who knows he's about to be free, who's about to be liberated from the very bondage they have been in for years, it's a joyous thing to their heart. While the children of Israel hear this idea of freedom, no one was old enough to know when all this began. And yet 9 plagues that God used that hardened a man's heart, one plague is going to come. And it's going to change his mind. To the degree not only will he let them go, he will drive them out. These people had endured all their life watching their loved ones being captivated in slavery, and born in slavery, and treated harshly. Some of them were worked till their body could no longer endure the work, while young men took over and thought their life would end the same way, are now at a place where they're about to see something different. They're about to direct their energy and to move it into a new dimension with God. We just don't get the story of young people who do not understand this transition and how it impacted them. We don't just get the story of a nation that's being liberated in one night. We see God is in the business of liberating his people. He does it by instruction. Somebody say instruction. I'm so glad you listened. He gives them instructions. Instructions are given to be followed. And this is one problem in the church today. We don't want to follow instructions. God has given us an order by which we are to work by. When you change that order, that means things are out of order. And when things are out of order, God cannot move in it. I don't know about you, but my wife is a very orderly person. She likes things in order. She's telling me to pick up something, do this, move that, because she knows how things are in the order they're supposed to be in. And some of you are the same way. You're constantly keeping order in your life. God gives them an order to go by. Death is coming. And in order to escape death, these instructions are valuable. Somebody said valuable. It's going to save your life. These instructions are meaningful. It's gospel-centered instruction. In Exodus 12:21, Moses called all the elders of Israel and said to them, draw out, take you a lamb according to your families. Kill the Passover. Ye shall take a bunch of hyssop and dip it in the blood that is in the blood basin, and strike the lintel and the two side posts with the blood that is in the basin, and none of you shall go out at the door of this house until the morning. For the Lord will pass through to smite the Egyptians. And when he seeth the blood upon the lintel and the two side posts, the Lord will pass over the door and will not suffer the destroyer to come into your house to smite you. Amen. What an instruction. Amen. What a careful instruction he gives them. Number one, kill the lamb. Number two, apply the blood. And then number three, say it with me, stay inside. Stay inside. Moses got to communicate to thousands of people an instruction that they got to get all in one night. How do you do that? How do you communicate to what we know is close to maybe 1 million people that this night we're getting out of here, but there's an instruction that God has given us that we must follow in order to escape? This is why it's good to have people on board. Moses must communicate to thousands of people detailed instructions. How do you tell masses of people? You have to have structure in order to communicate a message like that. You have to have people that can carry the message and carry it faithfully. Follow me, please. You have to have people that will listen to what you say clearly and don't miss a word, and then communicate that effectively to somebody else. It has been proven you can give a message started over here, and by the time you get over here, it's altogether different than what it was originally given over there. It's amazing how God gave us a simple message, and by the time we got way over here, it is so distorted and out of order that we need a revival of the heart to bring things back into its proper order. Somebody say order. Order. Tells them you got to kill a lamb. Kill a lamb. This message is being given out to preserve them. Kill a lamb. A lamb must be slain. You got to get the blood. Put it over the door. Every house is to have one. The blood of a slain lamb is what's going to do it. Not a lamb rolling around in your house crawling. No, this lamb has to be slain. In 1 Corinthians 5:7, the Bible said, purge out therefore the old leaven, that ye may be a new lump, as ye are unleavened. For even Christ our Passover is sacrificed for us. Therefore let us keep the feast, not with old leaven, neither with the leaven of malice and wickedness, but with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth. It is that very bottom little clause that seems to jack us up. Sincerity and truth. It's hard to find sincere people anymore. It's hard to find truthful people anymore. It's a wonderful thing when you do find people that are sincere and really love God and want to make my line of work. I've always been fascinated when I meet someone that loves the Lord and they got the big cross, you know, and the big shirt, and you know, your hopes get high and you think, all right, here's another one plugged in, praise the Lord, I'm not by myself. And the next thing you know, you hear something, you see something, they say something, you're like, oh boy, maybe they borrowed that shirt and that cross wasn't theirs, because what's coming out of their mouth is not sincere, and it certainly ain't the truth. And the Bible said, you know, these things ought to not be. There's a lifestyle that follows the believer, amen? Yeah, signs follow, and signs follow. And it's disappointing when you get to, you ever been that place where you just meet someone, you thought, oh man, here's somebody plugged in, you know, here's somebody that has some word in them, somebody, you know, they got the big cross on, you know, they got the bumper hunk if you love Jesus, and somebody cut them off, and what you see them do make you think they borrowed that car, it's not theirs, you know, because what they're demonstrating is not true fruit. The Lord said you got to do it with sincerity and truth.
Yes, Lord.
Come on, preacher.
Sincerity and truth. Then he said, apply the blood. This is a very prescribed way. The blood must be applied. God must be able to see the blood that has been applied. And I want to say that blood has touched your life. And we're going to see some things.
Amen.
Don't holler about don't judge me. We're going to be able to see some things that we're going to be able to judge and determine that you've been with Jesus. Amen?
Amen.
If the blood has truly touched your life, it will change your life.
Yes, Lord.
That blood is life-changing.
Yes,
It
Lord.
changed the whole dynamics of their house. Because as the destroyer was coming through, what he saw kept him going.
Yeah.
When he didn't see it, he had the legal right to go in.
Yes.
To be recovered.
Oh, yeah.
You've not come under the stained blood of the cross and given your life to Christ, then you're just as acceptable as the Egyptians were in that day.
Yeah.
The Bible says, for as much as you know that you were not redeemed with corruptible things, as silver and gold, from your vain conversation, received by tradition from your fathers, but with the precious blood of Christ, as a lamb without blemishes, without spot. Now, these Old Testament passages that we look at are types of Christ that show us what's to come, as he is going to be the sacrificial lamb that's going to come before the Father without spot or blemish. That's why the Bible says he who knew no sin became sin.
Yes.
Sin did not have the legal right to attach itself to Jesus. And because he was sinless, death came because of sin. When death attached itself to his body, it attached itself without the legal right to do so. So therefore, by the power of his holiness, he was able to exercise power over death, hell, and the grave, because it didn't have the legal right to attach itself, because God became flesh, lived a sinless life in this earth, and was able to conquer death, hell, and the grave.
Amen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This is good. The precious blood of Christ, without blemish. Those lambs they were to get were not to just be any lamb. They had to be a lamb without spot or blemish.
Yes.
Christ came without spot or blemish. 1 Peter 1:14 says, as obedient children, not fashioning yourselves according to the former lust in your ignorance, but as he which hath kaleo called you is holy, so be ye holy in all manner of conversation. I don't understand why people, they scared of this word holiness. We don't want to use it. We think you got to be some deep Pentecostal speaking in tongues. Holiness is a lifestyle.
Yes.
We've been called to live.
Yes.
Now there's gifting and there's things that enable you to help live that kind of life, but you are called to be a holy people, separated from the world.
Yes, sir.
And if you care in the least about your walk with God, then holiness has to be an issue.
Yes.
The maintenance of holiness has to be an issue. The Bible said, follow peace with all men, and holiness without no man will be able to see the Lord. I know some of you are slick Bible scholars. You're thinking the Bible said every eye is going to see him. Yes, every eye is going to see him. But not everybody is going to be able to see him in the context of that verse in peace unless they live a holy and separated life. Everybody's going to see him, but not everybody is going to see him in the sense of those who are holy going to see him. Those who are not will be condemned to a place they don't have to go to. Somebody say amen. Just go ahead and look at somebody and tell them, you don't have to go there.
You don't have to go there.
But you will if you ain't careful. I know, look at the other person next to you. They don't want to hear that. You got to tell them, you don't have to go there, mama. But you will if you ain't careful. And I'm telling you, some of the greatest deception is sitting in our churches. People who say they love God, but yet so far from the holiness of God and have so many excuses to why they will not live holy, separated lives. And yet the Lord is calling for holiness.
Yes, Lord.
He said, look, I want you to apply the blood, live this life, then stay inside. This is the night of judgment. There'll be no safety anywhere but behind that blood-stained door.
Yes.
There will not be an opportunity to escape anywhere else other than behind the door. The old folks used to say, you better come on in the house now.
Come on now.
It's going to rain. It's going to rain down fire. Y'all remember that? It's going to rain. You better come on in. You can see the signs all around. And people that are out of the will of God, out of the knowledge of God, don't have a clue of what's going on. But those of us who have that eye and that sensitivity in the spirit know that the hearts of men are wicked and showing it. Remember I preached that message, the unthinkable? The unthinkable is thought because of the wickedness of men. And things go on, we thought, wow, I never thought of that because you don't have that kind of heart. God has changed your heart, and is steady changing your heart. But those who have not had the heart change, who have not come under the blood, are doing the very same thing that we saw in the day of Noah. We see it now, and the wickedness of man has escalated to heights we never would have thought.
Yeah.
Not even 24 hours and 2 mass shootings.
Come on now.
Every day now a child is molested. Every day now somebody is being a victim of a crime. They say every so many minutes now a woman is the victim of a sexual assault. Child is being abused every day now. These are things we used to didn't even think of. A man raping another man. These things we never thought would ever happen. Someone manipulating and scheming and doing some of the most vilest things because the unthinkable has been thought. And if your mind is never touched by the blood of Jesus, such can be some of you. As Paul said, such were some of you, but you've been washed by the blood. And if you've been washed by the blood, that's a good time to clap, celebrate, do whatever it is you got to do, and thank God that the blood has touched your mind. Because Lord knows we've been reading about you on channel 4. We've been looking at your picture, but if it had not been the Lord that was on, come on now, on your side, where would you be? Thank God he's on my side. Stay inside.
Amen.
Man, I don't know what are you going out for. We used to say, there's nothing out there at night like that with the boogeyman. Ready to get you.
Yes, sir.
There's nothing out of the ark of God. Stay inside.
Yes.
There's safety inside.
Yes.
There's a peace inside.
Yes.
I watch beautiful young ladies leave the church only to find their lives ruined later on. 5 babies later and no husband. Drug infested mind. I told you about the young girl. She used to sit just like Brother Bonds right there. And I would preach. This was in Jacksonville, Florida. I used to preach every week to her just about man. I would plead with her. We would have house church where we would have church in the house. And she would sit there bragging about, I want to be a hooker. I want to be this and that and the other. I want to be not a hooker, a dancer, the stripper in the pub. She would brag about that. And she got so defiant. She started doing things against her mom and dad. And she was rolling up weed in her Bible. She was ripping out the pages of her Bible, rolling up her weed, smoking it. Be not deceived, God is not mocked. She went down to Miami only to end up sleeping with her own cousin who wouldn't tell her he had AIDS but would yet sleep with her. She's now walking the streets of St. Augustine. She'd be better off to die. If I were to show you her and you see her right now, you would be thinking it'd be better off she died. But she is gone, and unless God stepped in, it would be a blessing and a miracle, because that's what it'll take. And some of you, as you're sitting here and hearing what I'm saying, defying and don't want to give your life over to God, and the devil because he has a plan for you. But the Bible declares, without the shedding of blood, there would be no remission of sin. But God, who saw the need, brought his son down that we might be redeemed.
Thank you, Lord.
Yes, Lord. Thank you, God.
My heart breaks every time I see one
Thank you, Lord.
trying to creep outside.
Well,
God watched in my 53 years of living what going outside will do.
Yeah.
I watched what going outside
Yes, Lord.
will do.
Yeah.
You must stay under the blood. There's no other name given among men
Amen.
whereby we can be saved.
Yeah.
Your father can't do it. Your mom can't do it. No one can hide under the faith of their dad, their mom, their grandfather, their pastor. You must come under the blood.
Yeah.
Isaiah 26:20 says, "Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers and shut the doors about thee. Hide thyself, as it were, for a little moment, until the indignation be overpassed. For behold, the Lord cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth and their iniquity. The earth also shall disclose her blood and shall no more cover her slain." In Revelations 9:4, it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men which have not the seal of God in their forehead. Now this is futuristic to come, but there would be such an onslaught of evil released out in the earth, and it's only those who have God's mark on them that's going to be saved, folks. Do you not see the urgency of the hour in which we live, folks? You need that mark. You need that identifying mark on you. I never forget, there was an old lady. They broke in her house, and the lady started pleading the blood, started speaking in tongues and telling them in the name of Jesus. You get out. They got scared. They never heard of that and saw that. But the woman had a mark. She was marked by her faith. And if she had to die, she was going to die calling on the name of the Lord. And then the people that came in to do her harm end up running, because at the name of the Lord, it's a strong tower. And the righteous running to it. And there they are saved. Whosoever call on the name of the Lord shall be saved. Some of y'all was in a car accident, and while your car was rolling, you were calling on Jesus. I know my brother did it. We were coming from convocation, and God saved it. A couple of them got saved, and he fell asleep behind the wheel on US 1 in Maryland, coming up on the Chesapeake Bay, coming around the mountains, and a Regal started flipping. But those that were in the car started calling on the Lord, and God stopped the car, set it on its feet, set it right on the wheel, and set him right up alright. Keith went in the shop, but there was no bruise on him, no harm on them. And while everybody watched that car flip, they thought for sure they were going to die. But because God was on our side, and God had a destiny for his life, and he knew he needed to be preaching at the jail because somebody needed to be saved. He knew that there would be somebody that needed to hear the gospel. He knew that one day he would clean him up and raise him up. He wouldn't let destiny fall. He stopped him because he had a greater destiny than dying in a car. And some of you got a greater destiny than dying in the world. You got a greater destiny than your life falling apart.
Thank you, Lord.
It's a greater destiny. God will command them.
Yes, Lord.
Yeah. Don't you ever forget. Don't you ever forget
Thank you, Lord God.
what's about to happen here.
Yeah.
Don't you ever forget what I've done for you. I want you to observe this thing for an ordinance. Exodus 12:24. I want you to observe this. I want you to remember this forever. And it shall come to pass, when you come into the land which the Lord will give you, according as he hath promised, you shall keep this service, this Passover celebration. I don't ever want you to forget what I've done for you. I don't want you to ever forget how I worked in the circumstances of your life to bring you out. I don't ever want you to forget. I want it to be a reminder, not cheap grace.
Amen.
I always told you today we get to do this just to do it. I don't want to do it no more.
Amen.
I want to remember fully
Yeah.
the great redemption that not only came on them, but came to us.
Yes,
It
Lord.
was a prototype of Christ. As God is liberating a people, Christ would come and liberate all mankind.
Yes, Lord.
He said, I want you to observe this.
Thank you, Lord God.
It's from this they adapted what traditionally we call watch night service. Y'all remember them? Watch night service. Where we would get the passing of a new year into a new year. And we would come to service. Some of them services start 6, 7, some start 8, but boy, they had time. But right about 11:50, we go in prayer, some kind of praise and worship. Because we were going to celebrate the old out and the new in.
Yeah.
We were going to make sure we celebrate the new year.
Yeah.
God is doing a new thing. What a new thing they're doing.
Yeah.
He said, you observe this thing. This is where your watch night service came from, through this ordinance. But it was greater. It was greater. It was to be a demonstration to the generations to come of our great reliance on the Savior. It would be an opportunity by which we can communicate the gospel to our young people who so desperately need to hear and know. And while they watch you celebrate, the Lord said it will come to pass when your children will say, what do you mean by this? Why are you doing this like this? Daddy, my kids used to ask me, Daddy, why do you get excited like you do? At one point I was embarrassed to tell them about the crack addict.
Come on now.
I was embarrassed to tell them Daddy wasn't always a preacher. But I learned to tell them and not have a shame that this drug addict that they said put out, God gave me a night of redemption.
Come on now. Yes.
This guy that everybody said would not be nothing,
Jesus.
would touch hearts and change lives.
Thank you,
The
Lord
same
God.
drug addict, my sister told my mother, put him out. My mother prayed for me.
Thank you, Lord God.
God gave me a night of redemption.
Yes.
I can tell you, you know where the Trade Winds bar at? I'll never forget it. I used to play there all the time. And I was the reggae, Yama was the reggae man. I go down there on Sunday nights. We would drink, smoke, snort, everything we could do. But I'll never forget. I was high, I was drunk. I mean, we had everything given to us. People liked us. So drugs wasn't a problem. I was so under the influence of drugs, but I know God know how to sober you up.
Yes, Lord.
While I was standing up there holding that bass guitar, playing, God came and invaded that bar and spoke to me and said, I'm bringing you out of here.
Yeah.
Nobody knew the cry I had in my heart. I got hit a bottom I couldn't come up from. And I was tired of this situation. I was in the bondage of those drugs. Couldn't help myself, couldn't stabilize myself. I was sick and tired of it. I was crying out to God and I wanted truly to be delivered. And God came to me in that bar. I wish I could tell you I was at the church at the altar. No. I wish I could tell you I was sitting in the living room of the pastor. No. I was at a bar and God had come to the bar. If he had to come to the bar while you're sticking the needle in your arm, he'll come in there and interrupt what's going on. Long enough to tell you, I am coming to get you. God came and got me out of there.
Thank you, Lord.
Thank God he did.
Yes.
When your children ask you, what does this mean? Don't brush them off.
Thank you, Lord.
Tell them. Tell them what the Lord done for you.
Yes.
Tell them how God has moved.
Yes.
You're going to tell them it's the sacrifice of the Lord. This is the opportunity to tell them. You're not going to have it when they're grown and gone and you don't know where they're at. You got to do it now. Tell them.
Thank you, Lord God.
Tell them how you were so broken, God paid for them to do it. Tell them how you were so messed up.
Thank you, Lord.
You didn't know one way from the next, and God intervened.
Yes, Lord.
This is your opportunity. It's the sacrifice of the Lord's Passover, who passed over our house.
Thank you, Lord.
Son, it was nothing but God's mercy
Yes, Lord.
and great grace. I didn't deserve it. The blood covered me.
Thank you,
He
Lord
smote
God.
the Egyptians and left us alone.
Yes.
They were moving, somebody said, with a purpose.
With the purpose.
They had the hope of a promised future. God had promised to take them into a land that had a flow in it. God is doing a work. Every family that is willing and obedient, they must turn their focus on God. In this solemn obedience, it's not that they obey, but how they obey.
Yes.
We see so much in the church today. I was going to preach a message about a new cart. We got new carts springing up everywhere trying to pull God on. God's still trying to do what he did before. We love to say God is doing a new thing. He's still doing the same old thing. It's a new thing to those who still believe. And God is saving people, delivering them from their sins, and empowering them to live a saved life. That's the new thing he's doing in people. We want to come up with a new way because we want to accommodate the gays and the lesbians. We don't want our offerings to stop. We accommodated this prosperity message to make sure they can get some health and wealth. And we tell them like Joel Osteen, unless you're healthy and wealthy, unless you ain't something wrong, you know, these guys out selling books and selling tapes and they're making millions of dollars. They're selling the prosperity message when God is in the business of touching hearts and changing lives. Yes, he will prosper his people. You're looking at a man that got more money than he ever had before. I keep a job. That's not crack. I keep a job. I have a house. I got cars. That's not crack, y'all. God has prospered us, y'all. He took us from nothing to where we are right now. Y'all know the steps it took. I ain't got time to tell all that story. But when Heart to Heart started, we started from nothing with nothing. And God brought us to right here where we're at. And we got more than we ever had before. Clap your hands. Good God. What a solemn night. They were warned. This is a sense of humility and a reverence. Verse 27. This is the sacrifice of the Lord. It's the Lord's who passed over Egypt. He passed over the house of the children of Israel in Egypt. Delivered our house. And look what he said. The people bowed and worshiped. They worshiped because they knew they were guilty too, but it was just the blood that was separating them from the others. They were escaping. What a severe judgment God is bringing on the land. Nothing to brag about here. I guarantee you, while they were in those houses with the blood-stained door, there was such a sense of reverence. Nobody was playing games. Nobody was trying to watch TV. Nobody was trying to tweet. Nobody else. They were sitting there with a sense of reverence to God. Because God is moving through the land. Never forget when it rained and hard rain, thunder, and lightning, and it get real dark. Grandma used to make us sit down and turn the TV off. We hated that as kids. Y'all remember that? They make us be quiet. You can't say nothing. Get real quiet. They used to make us sit down and don't say nothing. Don't do it. We had to ask them that. They were serious about it.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Lord God.
What a judgment. The Bible said it came to pass at midnight. The Lord smote all the firstborn in the land. Think about it. Everyone where there was not blood-stained door, the death angel came in that house. And I don't care if your firstborn was your 50-year-old son. He died.
Yes.
I don't care if you had your favorite cow. He was the firstborn. He died. Babies died.
Yeah.
Firstborn that was married to a wife. He was the firstborn. He died. So the death is multiplied, y'all. It's not just babies. We all know those pictures and the plate that show babies. It was the firstborn of every house.
Right.
No matter where that firstborn was. If it wasn't under behind a blood-stained door, it died.
Yeah.
So now you got screaming all over the place.
Yeah.
The same judgment that they brought on Israel, God is making them feel what it feels like. Because remember, they decided they would go through and kill all the males. Remember that? Yeah, Pharaoh decided in his arrogance he would go through and kill all the men. You better be careful the same pain you put on somebody. God might allow you to be feeling some of that sin. Be not deceived. God is not. Come on, where my Bible quote at? God is not mocked. Whatsoever a man sow, that. Yeah. You better be careful what you sow. Stop sowing bad apples and start sowing some good ones. Amen?
Amen.
Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and his servants and all the Egyptians. There was a great cry in Egypt, and there was not a house where there was not one dead. This was a great cry, as lifeless bodies are everywhere. You can't comfort another house because the other house is in full all itself. Sin was no pardon, whether you were rich or poor. 80 years of murder. The Egyptians killed all of Israel for 80 years slave. Now they know exactly what it feels like. God brought on Pharaoh what he brought on Israel. He brought an absolute deliverance. Say it with me. Absolute deliverance.
Absolute deliverance.
No conditions. No opposition. If you know the story, you're familiar with the Bible, you know when they first came to Pharaoh with this business of letting people go, he was reluctant. Then he wanted to negotiate. Don't go too far. Remember that? Leave your money. Leave your children. You can go that I'm in. No. Now he's saying, I want all y'all. It's amazing how God can change you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He called now. The last time Pharaoh saw Moses and he said, if you come back in my face, I'm going to kill you. God was listening.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah? Oh, let's see about that. Now he calls for them. He called them by night
Yeah.
and said, rise, get up. Get from among you. He's traveling out now.
Yeah.
Tell me God don't know how to do a good thing.
Oh, yeah.
Get out of here. Get away from me. Both you and your children go as the Lord has said. You go. Now look at this. Before he wanted just the men to go. Then he said leave your children. Then he said leave your flocks. Now he said I want you to go. Take your children. Take your flocks. Get your herd. Don't even try to give me that stuff back you bought. I want you and all of that stuff out of here now. And some of us are so glad we got kicked out. So glad they told us don't come back. So glad that the world did not want us no more. You don't want me, I'm going. I'm ready to go. You ain't got to worry about it. I'm not coming back. I'm ready to leave you just like I was sitting here in all of this turmoil. I'm leaving and I'm ready to go. I've suffered long enough. I've been through enough pain and enough anguish here for me to go. It's a joy to get out of this relationship. It's a joy. I've been suffering in this thing, trying to make something work that ain't going to work. You put hickeys on my head. I'm putting hickeys on y'all. I'm getting out of here. Enough is enough. And the devil is a liar. God did not bring me here to suffer like this. He didn't bring me in the earth for me to be made a fool out of. If it's time to go, it's time to go. Hit the road, Jack, and don't come back no more. Who the sun set free is free indeed. Take your flocks, take your money. Don't get it all tied up in the world. Take your herd. If you want to give God a 10%, give it to him. I don't want to get in your way. You get it and get out of here. Do all that you want to do. And the Bible declares there's a mixed multitude that came up out of Egypt because they had been liberated. The reason why the Bible said there was a mixed multitude, because in the Old Testament, God is going to show us that he has a door open for Gentiles to be saved. And way back then, we see a proto-evangel in theology school. They tell us this is a pre-experience of Christ in the Old Testament. How he's going to save black folks, white folks, Asian folks, Canadian folks, all kind of people. A mixed multitude came out of Egypt, coming to serve the Lord. A mixed multitude. Why? They listened to Moses when he said, covered by the blood. They got up under the blood. They listened to what the man of God said when he said there's a death coming down. There's a judgment coming down. God is going to move in the land. And if you want to escape, the only way you're going to escape is get under the blood. So all of these non-Israelites stop running to the house of an Israelite. Some of those non-Israelites, according to scholars, say they got blood on their door. Look at somebody and ask them, do you have some blood over your door? You better get covered because the death is coming. The devil is coming. And when the enemy comes in like a flood, the Lord has promised, I'll lift up a standard the devil can't use. I'll lift up a standard against the enemy. I'll make you so powerful, you'll be the head and not the tail. I'll make you so he's got to pass over you. The Bible says, tell them, you go. mixed multitude.
Yes,
I'm
Lord.
so glad this is here
Mhm.
Yes.
because it shows us
Yes.
that everybody had the opportunity
Mhm.
to respond to the word of God.
Yes.
If Egypt would have decided, we're going to listen to God,
Mhm.
they could have been saved.
Yes.
People you don't think can be saved can be
Yes.
saved.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen.
Some of y'all miss opportunity because you don't think there's no hope in people.
Yes.
Well.
I don't mind talking to a homeless guy.
Amen.
I don't mind talking to a guy that y'all say crazy.
Yes.
I know what God can do with crazy.
Amen.
I
Yes,
know what
sir.
it is for some of y'all. I know you. God know how to touch crazy.
Yes.
Don't look at me like that. God knows how to fix crazy. Nobody's out of reach, is it? In a night to be much observed. You can never forget a night like this.
Yes.
Amen.
And saved,
Amen.
liberated,
Yes.
set free. I can never forget a night like this. No wonder we're called to observe it. Because when Christ came, that night of the Passover, let me tell you about the providence of God. I'm done. God set it up so that in the timing of God, Christ would come to be our Passover lamb at the very time in their history they are to celebrate Passover. See, when man sinned in the garden, God killed an animal. Blood was shed. And he covered it. It's a type of Christ. When Joseph brought his family to Egypt and nourished them, it was in the providence of God. And God worked foreordained their timing. Just like he said to the day, brought them out. But in a prescribed way. Get a lamb, kill it, put the blood on the door. The slain lamb is going to represent Christ. His blood is going to be shed. You're going to eat it. It's going to be a bitter. Herbs, eat, drink. You're going to remember this. It's a type of Christ. So every lamb that was slain was pointed toward Calvary. Jesus would come and be the sacrifice that a lamb can never truly be. And once and for all, he would offer what would be so acceptable. He could sit down right by the Father and intercede for us. So what that blood did when it was shed was redeem man, past, present, and future. Watch this. Jesus died on that cross. He pierced that side. And out came out what? Blood and water. Which is the way by which the church can reconnect with him. His bride can connect with her husband. That blood flowed. It went back into the Old Testament. And it touched everyone that died in faith. That's why when you read Hebrews chapter 11, you don't hear anything about what they did in their sinful life. You talk about their faith journey. If you want to know the garbage, you got to go back there, don't you? You can't get it in Hebrews. You got to go back there. Why? The redeemed, they're on the other side of redemption. And because they're on the other side of the cross, the blood don't see that. Because it washes
Come on
like the
now.
snow.
Come on now.
So if you want to know about Abraham's failures, you got to go in the Old Testament.
Amen.
When you go to Hebrews, the Bible says by faith,
Yeah.
Abraham journeyed
Come on now.
looking for a city.
Yeah.
You want to know about Samson and Barak and all of them, you got to go in the Old Testament.
Yeah.
The Bible speaks of their journey in Hebrews by faith.
Yeah.
By faith. You're here. Maybe you're not saved. Maybe you've never come under the... What a great time to do so.
Thank you, Lord.
What a great opportunity to surrender your life to the great God on the throne.
Thank you, Lord.
Come under that blood.
Yeah.
That blood redeemed all those in the past, present, and guess what? Whosoever will
Yeah.
call on the name of the Lord
Amen.
shall be saved.
Thank you, Lord.
That same blood is able to be applied to their life. Stand with me. I know it was a blood. Are you covered? Are you covered?
Yes.
Because this man, after he had offered one sacrifice, sins forever sat down at the right hand of God. I'm going to pray. Father, I thank you for you. Thank you for your name. Thank you for this opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for your shed blood.
Yes, Lord.
Thank you for what you've done for me.
Yes, Lord.
Thank you for how you've set me free.
Yes.
Thank you there are people in this room who are no longer the person they used to be because of the change in their life. I thank you for the word of God enriching hearts. I thank you for the opportunity you give us to be light in the midst of a dark world.
Yes,
Lord, I thank you for the doors you've opened, the doors you shut. Lord, the door's open now in someone's heart is receptive. And I pray, Father, that this would be the day they would surrender the throne of their life
yes,
over to you.
yes,
We bless you
yes.
and we thank you for salvation. Thank you for shedding your blood for us. Every Sunday when we come together, we're reminded of whose we are and the great price that was paid to be here. Lord, we pick that time that we would come together and get around this table and we would take the bread and the cup. And we would be reminded of this great salvation and the great price that was paid. That we too are called to such a sacrifice for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lord, I thank you that in your providence you opened the door that I would meet these dear, wonderful people of God.
Yes.
So much word in our heart. They would pray. And Lord, that we stand in a very critical time. The nation needs healing.
Yes.
Thank you for raising up
Thank
leadership.
you, Jesus.
And I pray, Father, that you would open the eyes of the people, that they might sense and know the time in which we live, that we might know in which way to go and what choice to make and honor you in that choice.
Yes, Lord.
Regardless of a party of affiliation, may our eyes be turned and fixed on you.
Yes, Lord.
Father, I pray
Oh,
that you
yeah.
would direct us, that we might see the restoring of America, that we might see
Yes.
a revival of the hearts,
Oh, yeah.
that lives might be touched. Do it for us.
Yes.
In Jesus' name.
In Jesus.
Amen. God bless you. You may be seated. Give God a hand clap.